Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley.
And I'm Coach Jay.
And we are back with another episode of the Film Breakdown. Coach Jay, if it's your first time here, coaching a little football out in California, we like to jump on and let him kind of take a deep dive on some of the targets, maybe in the class of 25. We've covered a lot of guys in the class of 24. We're going to start covering some transfer portal guys as well, let you guys see some of their college film as much as we can do. First and foremost, guys, smash the thumbs up and then jump into that comment section. Let us know who you want us to break down next, whether that be the class of 25 portal guys, whoever you want, put it in the comments. We'll get into it. We'll take a look at it, but let's jump into this one. Ethan Utley, four-star defensive lineman out of Nashville, Tennessee. That's something we like to focus on early in the cycle is these in-state kids. We talk about the importance, Coach Jay, of building that wall, putting up a barrier, locking down your state. Why did you choose to go with Ethan Utley right out of the gate?
I think just what you said, Boogie. I think we started in state last year, right, with a couple, I think 3 or 4 in-state kids right off the bat, man. And just what you said, you got to build a wall around this state and keep all your top talent in for multiple reasons, right? It keeps your footprint really heavy within the coaching circles within state. And then you get classes like this class that pop up that are really strong in-state classes. And that's really why you want to make sure you're mining these in-state classes, because you get these ones pop up where you have an all-world quarterback like George McIntyre, right? You've got 2 or 3 really good DBs. You got a couple really good D linemen. You got to build that strong and then work out from there. And I think Coach Hype and them have done a pretty good job of that so far. And this year is certainly a year we need to stick a big flag like this orange and white one right in the middle of the state and build a nice big wall around it.
Yeah, I like it, man. It's. I think this cycle, the class of 25, could be the most critical of Coach Heupel's career. Are we going to have success? Is he going to be that guy at Tennessee? Look, we know we got Nico. 2024 is going to be a big year for this program. You got to go prove it on the field. You got to go show that you're for real. The NCAA investigation, it's over. It's gone. There are no more excuses. It is go time for this class of 2025. Ethan Utley, again, 4-star defensive lineman, 6'3", 275 pounds. Now, he actually dropped his top 5 back on Christmas Day, but the graphic up here, I kind of laughed about it because I saw it was his top 5, and I'm like, okay, I see Smokey down there chilling right beside the president, hanging out. You got the other mascots, Texas, Oklahoma. You got the big Syracuse orange celebrating something there in the back. And then where in the world is Michigan? You got this little tiny helmet down there on the side, on the right side. It looks like your old helmet that was hiding in the background. It's just casually sitting
Just
there. But
casually hiding.
Yeah, hiding there. Smokey is covering up that Michigan helmet. But that was the top 5 that he dropped. Had over 40 offers when he dropped this top 5 list. Something I thought was interesting. You know, we talk about recruiting now and how it's different with the early signing period, and then you've got the signing period coming up in February. Most of the decisions, most of the visits, all the activity takes place during the summer. Something strange is he said he plans to make a decision prior to those official visits this summer. Interesting, but here's the quote about that. He said, I think the relationships I've built with the coaching staffs at these schools are what stands out to me, as well as how I have that family feeling in all 5 of these places. I know that when the decision time comes and I pick a school out of these 5, my heart will feel at home. Interesting timing on that, Coach?
Very interesting timing on that. Yeah, I can't even quite put my finger on why you'd want to do that way, but maybe he just summed it up, right? Maybe he knows kind of where he wants to go and what relationships he values the best. 9 times out of 10, these kids are picking what school they want based off those relationships and family feel.
Yeah, I like going back to the Bennett Warren interview we did, and we said this, I think, on the last film breakdown. He said they didn't even mention NIL. It was all about relationships, the university. It wasn't about the money. And I know a lot of people just want to say it's all about money. It's not the case. It's a combination of things. You talk about comfort level. He's already been to Knoxville a handful of times. He visited for the Texas A&M game and the Georgia game this past season. I like that he was here for the Texas A&M game, mainly because that was a defensive battle. You had 2 defensive lines, and he even mentioned it coming off the visit that you had the 2 best defensive lines in the country going toe-to-toe, and Tennessee won that battle. Let's jump into it. Let's take a look at some of the film here. We're going to look at his junior season highlights from Huddle. Coach, take it away.
Right here we got Ethan playing a little little four technique against a double tight set. We got twins to the top of the screen. Their defense likes to run some 3-3-5 looks, likes to run some nickel looks. So a lot of times he'll be sliding anywhere from five set technique to two technique, which is something I really love about him. Boogie is that he can line up anywhere. And the another thing I love about him, and we'll get several looks at it, he's got a beautiful 3-point stance, man. Just very shoulder width apart legs, out on his toes, not out in front of his hand, square shoulders, can dip either way, keeps good feet about him. Really, really pretty. Another thing I love about him, and we'll see it really quick here. You can just play pause real quick, Boogie. Just that first kind of stretch, reach out, pop with the offensive tackle here on this zone read play. Boom, right there. Beautiful shot. Look at that hand control, right? Nice inside hands, nice strong hard punch. Absolutely we want out of defensive tackles. Right away, he's inside of that collar of those shoulder pads, right? And he can steer him wherever he wants to go. If he needs to look left, he can look left. If he needs to look right, he can look right. And he sees this zone read right now. So the quarterback can either hand that ball off, continue it along, right, or keep the ball himself. Quarterback's going to keep the ball. And Utley does an absolutely ingenious thing here that I love. He's going to go ahead and put that offensive tackle into the B gap and fill C cap away from where he put that tackle. Go ahead and press play, Boogie, and let's watch him control this gap control right here. Boom, boom, boom. Puts some B gap, takes C gap, finishes the tackle. I love it, man. Whenever a defense lineman can control the gaps around him, and when we talk about maintaining a gap, not getting too far upfield and getting run underneath or run by, this is what we're talking about by being physical, aggressive, and strong in our gaps, and not just standing in our gaps and playing catch. This is exactly what we're talking about when we talk about that.
All right, moving on to play number 2, 348.
Yeah, right here we got a single wing formation. We're gonna get kind of like a kind of a weird play design, kind of like a zone stretch. But like I said, single wing bunch formation. The Z wide receiver is going to come into motion and line up in the pistol. Boogie, go ahead and take us to that moment right there when that happens. That Z wide receiver motion back to pistol. Linebacker comes down right here. We're going to get a little bit of a stretch run. Go ahead and bring us to that point where he makes contact with the lineman here, Boogie. Just play and pause for a couple seconds. Nice stretch out again. Now the guard, as we saw, tried to come down and kick him out, but we'll have Boogie run it back in a second and watch how quickly his feet typewriter switch and open stance. And we can see right here, there was a huge hole. Had that guard been able to kick him out, there would have been a huge hole in that B gap right there. But look how wide he gets with his stance when he switches his feet right here. Bam, bam, cuts open, and he's maintaining that whole gap. Once again, being violent in the gap, using your hands to control a gap, and now using your feet and your hips to control a gap. These seem like small things on a football field, but I assure you, for a defensive line, this is textbook on how you maintain gaps and close down on run plays underneath and maintain the edge as well. This is something that was missing in games like Florida this past year and games like Missouri this past year. This is what Tennessee was missing. Go ahead and watch him seal that gap inside, Boog. Just beautiful. You can't get around. He's got some mitts on him too. I'll tell you what. When this guy sucks you into his vortex, there is no escaping. Just a big physical strong man in Ethan Utley, playing a little five technique there.
All right, moving on.
Good
452.
stuff. Yeah, flowing along. All right. Just another look at that. Like we're gonna get a lot of five technique out of this guy. Trust me, he can get after the quarterback, and we'll see that in a little bit here too. But once again, just a nice, even, square 3-point stance. Like him a little more on his toes right here, but still not out in front of his hands, right? A lot of guys, when they get into that 3-point stance, want to lean over that hand, right? Get out in front of your toes. And when you get out in front of your toes, you reach, and you've probably heard the term quite a bit, right? When you reach, I teach. That's what those big offensive linemen will do when they get into that situation. Go ahead and bring us to our contact point here once again, Boogie. We haven't got to spend a lot of time on this one. This is just really driving home how strong, right? He pops up. Now watch, he's just gonna. But once again, look at those hands. You'll never see him with both hands outside of the tackle. I don't know that I've ever quite seen as much film as I have out of any defensive lineman as I have out of Ethan, where their hand placement is always so good. He might miss one hand being outside, but he at least has inside leverage with one of his hands. Absolutely elite inside leverage. Reminds me a lot of uh, Omar Norman Lott. Exactly, has really, really elite hands. I think it's why Gardner likes him so much and why he wanted him so much is because when you have those elite hands, you can get off blocks super quick. Let's go ahead and watch him plug off this one, plug this, and then we'll move along to some really fun stuff here in a second. Absolutely choose that up from backside, right? Just a little. I don't like that play design, by the way. It's like a counter dive. I don't know, just ugly boogie. Something about it. Yeah, I don't know.
You're talking about his hand placement, his technique, something that has become an ongoing theme when we do the film breakdowns, or you read scouting reports from 247 or On 3 or wherever you go to get that information. Something they talk about, particularly on the line of scrimmage, whether it's offensive linemen, defensive linemen, they rely a lot on their size and their strength more than they do technique. So how much do you like it when you're watching film on Ethan Utley and it's junior tape, right? He's still got a full year of high school ball to play and develop. What do you like so much about that technique that he's showing you as a junior?
Just that he can maintain his gap integrity so well, and also that you can, because his form and technique is so good, you can slide him between 7 technique, 5 technique. We're about to see 2 technique on this next play, right? So in between guard center. Um, that's awesome stuff, man, because usually you get a kid that can't do it. I know Tyler Barron did it quite a bit. It's why Rodney Gardner likes him. It just gives you a Swiss Army knife, and you can handle multiple positions. But this is a kid, make no mistake. We always talk about what did Coach Jay leave out of the film. I left a lot of those straight speed rush sacks out of this film because they were repetitive. But trust me, guys, this guy is a torpedo off the edge and can absolutely kill you. But the problem with that is you get a guy who can just pressure the quarterback. God bless him, you end up with a Roman Harrison, and Roman Harrison could not hold the backside edge. And I think this kid can be brought in to hold that backside edge, maintain that gap, and then you can really pin your ears back from the strong side. Then you can really have your James Pierces, your Leos, your inside blitzes. You can play aggressive when you can't get ran underneath, when you can't get countered backside, when you can't get a screen pass thrown at you. You can afford to be overly aggressive when you're playing fundamentally smart and sound football.
So at 6'3.5", 275 pounds, again as a junior, he's got another year, and then he'll add even more weight once he gets on a college campus. That's where you think he ends up, is in that Tyler Barron type position, a guy that's going to play on that defensive end, but also maybe slide inside on pass rushing situations, that type of scenario.
Absolutely. I think he's definitely got that cheetah package written all over his face. A kid who could 100% be an absolute nightmare. David Hobbs at your nose tackle, right? You could line up Ethan right next to him, and then Jordan Ross coming off the edge. Forget about it, man. That's a death sentence to any quarterback in the SEC.
No surprise to put over the film breakdown of what Coach Jay does here. He was all over Jordan Ross. Back when we did his film breakdown, everybody's talking about Williams Winery. They're talking about all these other guys. Coach Jay's all over Jordan Ross. And guess who is stock up the last few weeks of the season and now moving in as they play in the All-American game? Stock up Jordan Ross. Cannot wait to see him on Rocky Top. Guys, we're going to take a look at a couple of more plays here. Do us a favor, if you haven't, if you're still watching, smash the thumbs up. If you dig the film breakdown, make sure you hit that thanks button. There is a little thanks button down below. It's like a super chat on a video. These take a lot of time and effort and energy, particularly from Coach Jay. You want to say thanks, hit that thanks button. We would appreciate it. If you're not a member of the channel, I've heard you're a Florida Gator fan. You can fix that by hitting the join button. And guess what? it is $1 and it pays the bills around here. We would greatly appreciate it. But if not, don't ever feel the need that you have to do that. Just hit thanks or hit like because it's free. It's quick. It's quick. It's free, and the last I checked, it is easy. All right, we're going to take a look at a couple of more plays here. Also, don't forget to jump into those comments. Let us know what you think of Ethan Utley and also who you want us to break down next. Moving right along, Coach J, 524.
Absolutely love this play. A nasty play here out of Ethan Utley, man. Absolutely nasty. We got another single back, single wing set. He's going to be playing that two technique that we talked about, right? So shaded outside of center in between guard. What we're going to get on this play is we're going to get a D-line slant. And so Ethan is going to immediately slant from that A-gap to opposite side A-gap and pop into a double team. Boogie, see if you can get that moment when he hits that double team between the center and the backside guard, and watch how quickly he gets into the slant. Just bang, right? Look, meets that double team, splits it exactly where he wants it, right? Immediately in that A gap. And he's got both of his hands, once again, inside. One on the center, one on the guard. Look how free all of our linebackers are. Man, all the linebackers in the world standing up, giving Ethan a clap right now. This makes linebackers' jobs easy. Arian Carter, Spillman, all these guys are licking their chops watching this, but this is a play where you eat up blocks and the linebackers go in like a knife, make a beautiful tackle. But guess what? Ethan don't even need that on this play. He's going to make this play all by him dang self, Boogie. Beautiful. Go ahead and take it a couple seconds more. He's going to push, pull, dip and rip under, pop into backside B gap. Mind you, he started two technique, front side A gap, pop into B gap, make the stop. Man, what we watched that play in film room after Friday Night Lights. That's when you look at him and go, man, Ethan, you are a MFer, man. You are a bad man. That is a football play right there. That is all world when you can start slanting, stunting your defensive lineman, take them from one A gap to the other A gap, push, pull through a double team, dip and rip, B gap, tackle. Whoo-wee. Man, you got one when you can do that. That's beautiful stuff, Boogie. Absolutely beautiful work out of Ethan Utley right there. This play, giving these teams a little hard time about some play design right here. I kind of like this one. We're going to get a really sneaky screenplay out of this by the tight end. We see Ethan back at that five technique, top side of the screen. We got double tight, single back set. When the quarterback hikes the ball here in a minute, the running back is going to go out to the flats. The wide receiver, that would be the Z wide receiver at the bottom of your screen, is going to pop up and motion into tight. So we're thinking run. Ethan's responsibility is going to be backside. So he's got to maintain that backside gap integrity. He can't get too deep because he has to maintain that C gap. Boogie, go ahead and take it maybe to the point. If you can watch the tight end on the running back side, he's going to kind of make contact with the defensive end. If you can bring me to that point and press pause for me, we can kind of talk about what happens. But if you're watching Ethan as Boogie gets us to that point, Ethan's just going to stand up, nice hands, right? And we see that tight end. He chipped. Take notes, Dylan Sampson. Little chip block at first.
Oh, man.
Then,
my gosh. Come on.
I'm sorry. And look at the whole defensive line, right? They've all popped through their blocks. The linebacker is guarding the running back into the flat. The quarterback doing a great job looking everyone off into the flat. But this is coming back to number 84. That tight end is going to run that mid wide receiver smoke screen. And Ethan, because he's got good C gap integrity, he's got good eyes, he's maintaining backside, going to be really smart, just going to let his lineman go, right? Just let his lineman go. He already sees it. He's going to get flat and just totally defeat the screen. Boogie, let's go ahead and take a look at it. High IQ football flip play from Ethan Utley right there. Just so smart. So you got good IQ, good gap integrity. He can play backside. He can play five technique, 4 technique, 3 technique, 2 technique. Once again, the only thing I didn't show you was the speed from the outside edge. That's your homework from Coach J. Everyone, go watch this kid's film. It's a joy to watch. He absolutely decapitates quarterbacks coming off the edge. Um, uh, Coach G, get that kid in the boat, man. I don't know what we got to do to get Ethan in the boat, but Ethan, come home. Coach J is high as a kite on your film, man. Love to see you in Orange.
Well, when asked what he likes about the University of Tennessee, it says when it comes to the defensive class, I know they have commits right now, and I'm really close friends with them. So that is worth noting as well. Says I feel as if I'm one who they want to be their head captain for the defense in the 2025 class. Coach Heupel takes the time to talk with me about everything. He takes time out of his day to talk with my mom. Additionally, my mom's had a relationship with Coach Garner for years, and I've also built a relationship with him over the years. Also, it's the small things like connecting with people around campus, connecting with the other recruits they're bringing in, and knowing a lot of people at Tennessee. Tennessee feels like home. And I know that I have plenty of friends there and people that have trusted Tennessee's process of going into their system and knowing that they're going to buy in there. You know, I think we talk all the time about development. And, yes, I know, Rodney Garner's the best in the business. He's the best defensive line coach in the country. Maybe some of these kids don't know this, but guess what? When Tennessee's on the national stage and you're seeing James Pierce wreck shop, you're seeing Tyree West live in the backfield, they take notice. They start to realize this. And then you start seeing guys like BY get to the league. Guess what? James Pierce, top 5 draft pick, maybe, you think? Top 5? Definitely first rounder. 100% first rounder. Maybe the first defensive guy off the board in the upcoming draft after his next season at Tennessee. So Rodney Garner is going to do what Rodney Garner does. That's the film breakdown on Ethan Utley, 6'3.5", 275 defensive lineman out of Nashville. Put up that border. Keep the guys in state home. We're going to bring you another one next week. Not sure exactly who yet. We're keeping an eye on the portal. We're keeping an eye on recruiting. We've also got a film breakdown live stream coming up right now. Tentatively, we are looking at the last Wednesday of the month at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It's going to be Coach J versus Coach Rice.
Coach Rice. You're going down. I'm coming for you.
They have to stay in the state of Tennessee. Coach Rice has to pick an offensive player because he coaches the offensive side of the ball. Coach J has to roll with a defensive guy. Spoiler alert, it will not be Ethan Utley. So who is he going to be? Stay tuned. That will be live. Again, if the date changes, we will let you know. Just an update, no watch party for the national championship game. I completely forgot that I'm back at basketball practice. Completely forgot. Somebody's got to open that gym door for those kids, and I guess it might as well be me. So we'll figure out a watch party for January, but that is going to do it for the Ethan Utley film breakdown. For Coach J, my name's Boogie. I almost said Coach Boogie. Remember when somebody called me that the other day? They said, hey, Coach Boogie. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Coach Boogie.
This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. Go Big Orange.